Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord. Mark Stein had a report yesterday that rival executives believe that Paul George is on the trade block. They're gauging his trade interest. I'm not sure. Listen, the Clippers with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George can be as good as any team in basketball. The problem is neither of them can stay healthy, and they have to start evaluating their options as their contracts get to the end. Now, whether it's Kawhi Leonard or whether it's Paul George, I think one of them could definitely be moved. If I were the Clippers, I'd probably just run it back and hopefully, because I don't know, understand how, I don't think you're going to get a better situation than if those two can somehow stay healthy. So I'd probably just run it back and try to build around those guys, even though likely one of them gets injured. But you have to understand why they're doing it. And talk about superstars that could be available. There's not going to be a lot better than Paul George, especially if you can figure out how to stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, what a shame, because I remember when those two decided to go to Los Angeles. I mean, and that's what happened. Kawhi decided to go to the Clippers, and he was like, the only reason I'm coming here is because you're going to trade for Paul George. And they did. And, it's a shame because I really like those two as individual players. I also love Steve Ballmer. He's great for the NBA. And I wanted the Clippers to kind of get out from under the shadow of the Lakers. They haven't been able to do that. And it's really only because of injuries. And it's a shame. Kawhi's got that same, Ja Morant, Zion Williamson, his camp in his ear, just too much in his ear and probably not enough.
I don't believe that. I think
he's sitting out. He's sitting out.
I think Kawhi's gotten a bad rap. I think Kawhi's got a bad rap because of the injuries that like he doesn't really care or like stuff. I think Kawhi's has deteriorating injuries that have just completely hampered his career. Like I think that guy's one of the most competitive people in the NBA. He wants to be out there. He just can't. I just don't think he can. Like I think it's literally every injury. People want to act like it's just him sitting out. At least from what guys like.
Well, it has nothing to do with the injuries. It's the workload where he literally does not play back-to-back games, and it could be because he's trying to, longevity wise, he wants to be there for the playoffs. I understand that, but to a certain point, all the old heads talk about it. Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Shaq, all of these guys talk about how they took it personal that a little kid in Memphis loves the Clippers, loves Kawhi Leonard, and he bought this ticket, and his dad saved up all this money to go and see Kawhi Leonard, and then Kawhi doesn't play. That's to me where it's like, yes, I understand it's about what's best for Kawhi Leonard, it's what's best for his career, but because I'm a fan, I just feel bad for those people who spend all their hard-earned money to go to that one game where, Kawhi and the Clippers come to their city, and then Kawhi's like, well, this is my rest day. Sorry. That's why I feel bad, but I feel
terrible. And I hate that a lot of guys do it that don't need it. I just think if there was one guy in the league that I'd say needs it, it's probably Kawhi Leonard. And if you look at his injury history, I don't think he's not. I mean, the guy was absolutely balling. I mean, he was unbelievable against the Suns, and then he has to stop playing after 2 games. Like that guy to me, like, had the potential to get a reputation. Like, I mean, no one's going to be MJ, but he was as clutch as they came. His game was silky smooth. He was an ultimate competitor, and injuries have just derailed his career. Like if I'm the Clippers, I might be thinking about trading Kawhi. One, I think he gets you more trade value. 2, I think of the two, who's more likely to stay healthy when it matters? Probably Paul George. But let's bring it back to the Hawks because we're going to talk Hawks next. Paul George is on the trade market. Is there any package you could string together? Because you look at that, to me, a wing is what this team, a scorer on the wing, a second scorer on the wing would be deadly. And as good as DeJounte Murray is, that fit is wonky. And I think if you had Paul George off ball, I mean, DeJounte Murray to me could be a good fit for the Clippers.
It's a perfect fit for the Clippers. They need a point guard. They're in that market for Chris Paul, said point guard. And Chris Paul has nothing on DeJounte Murray in this stages of their career. DeJounte Murray is the far superior player, and he could be that guy that's playing every single day and giving that, Kawhi time off. Paul George, on the other hand, can be that veteran presence for the Hawks. Now, what's it going to cost? You're going to have to gut the roster.
It's going to be more, but I think DeJounte Murray gets you a long way. I think he starts the conversation for sure. He starts
you're going to have to give up a lot more than just DeJounte, including draft picks.
Coming up after the break, we'll talk about this and more Hawks trade rumors.